What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And it is going to be a very big week in Congress and for stimulus. There is a lot going on this week. I'm going to give you all the details and what to expect and the timeline for when we could receive the next stimulus check. But first, if you can, give this video a thumbs up or a like down below. It really helps out our channel. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day, so you won't miss out, and we give you all the information in a quick, concise video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Okay, there is going to be a lot happening this week. And I do mean a lot. So, number one is Congress is going to have to vote most likely this week to prevent a government shutdown from happening again. We just had one a few years ago, and if they cannot get a new budget approved, a new bill approval, or what they call a continuing resolution by the end of this month, we will see a government shutdown. So we basically have just this week and a few days of next week for them to get that done and get an agreement done, or we're going to see the government shut down. I don't think we want to see that. First of all, it's never a good thing when the government shuts down. There's hundreds of thousands of people that temporarily lose their job, and many different branches of the government shut down completely and just stop offering services. Only essential services stay in order, and it's not good at any given point at all to see a government shutdown. And then we have the election coming up right after that, and that would be even worse. It's just like two things colliding that we don't really need that extra trouble right now. The next thing is we have the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who has just passed away, and the president is trying to fill that seat with a new Republican judge before the election. President Donald Trump has said he wants to replace the Supreme Court Justice with another woman judge in that seat, obviously a Republican this time around. And that would give the president 3 different presidential Supreme Court justices that he has appointed already out of the 9 judges. Amy Coney Barrett, a federal appeals court judge, has emerged as a frontrunner to replace the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, according to people familiar with the discussions. President Trump signaled Saturday morning that he would move to fill the vacancy on the High Court without any delay, raising the likelihood that the Senate will try to confirm a nominee before Election Day on November 3rd or during a lame duck session. Trump later signaled he would support a vote before the election. Now, this is something the Democrats are very against because they don't want to have another Republican judge appointed. They're hoping that President Joe Biden or presidential nominee Joe Biden will get elected and that they could stretch it out and have him elect the next Supreme Court judge. Now, there's been some rumors that Nancy Pelosi might dangle as bait another stimulus package, saying that she will pass another stimulus package before the election if they don't pass a Supreme Court justice before the election, and they delay that until after the election. And that might be probably the only thing that would prevent President Donald Trump from passing a new Supreme Court justice pretty much immediately before the election, is that they would have to offer some very high negotiating leverage to him for him to say, okay, I'll wait on that. And I think that if Nancy Pelosi says, I'll give you a stimulus package in offerance of negotiations for the stimulus package, that's probably about the only thing that President Donald Trump would say that would make him not appoint a Supreme Court justice right away. The House Democrats also plan to unveil 2 new bills this week, one to avert a new government shutdown and also a new stimulus bill. There's been talks that Democrats are going to unveil a new stimulus bill this week, and they're going to probably either just get the Democrats' approval or actually vote on it in the House and basically say, all right, it's already passed in the House. Now we need to pass it in the Senate. But what they're going to do is instead of sending it over to the Senate, they're actually going to go to President Donald Trump to get his approval before they have the Senate vote, because they do need some Republicans in the Senate to vote for this bill. And neither the Republicans or the Democrats want to make the same mistake they have made in the last several months, and that is both sides have unveiled new stimulus bills, and then the other side ignored it or didn't even vote on it, because basically the Democrats, they say if the Republicans just announce a bill and vote on it in the Senate and pass it, or don't even pass it, that the Democrats don't want it because it's a Republican bill, and vice versa. The Republicans don't want to pass a bill that is just the Democrats, and that's exactly what we've seen with the HEROES Act, which did include another $1,200 stimulus check and an unemployment extension. So I think if we see a bill get passed, there's going to be two things that happen. Number one is exactly what we just said, where the Democrats draft a new bill and it's somewhat agreeable. They come a little bit down from that $2.2 trillion they want to offer, and they go to President Donald Trump for the approval of that. The other thing we could see is that either the Senate or the Democrats, the Senate obviously is controlled by the Republicans, they draft the Problem Solvers Caucus bill word for word. I mean, that's just a framework. They have to actually, word it out. But if they do it exactly like that bill says, I think they would get a lot of approval from the other side. So, for example, what could happen is the Republicans could draft the Problem Solvers Caucus bill, and they would only need a few votes from the Democrats in the Senate to pass it, okay? But remember, that bill, the Problem Solvers Caucus bill, is made up of 50 House representatives, 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans. So they already have support of it from both Republicans and Democrats. So for the Republicans or the Democrats to pass a bill, they need some support from the other side. And there's been a lot of lawmakers that have come out and said that this is the bill that could pass because it already has support from both sides. It's a bipartisan bill, which means it's by both Republicans and Democrats. There's support from both sides. And this bill has everything that they want. It has two stimulus checks in it, one for this year and another one for March of 2021 if this pandemic is still going on. So if this pandemic is still going on and they can pass the Problem Solvers Caucus, there would be another $1,200 check sent out to you in March of 2021 if the pandemic is still going on and meets certain thresholds. This also includes a check for all dependents this time around. That's child dependents, that's college students, and that's adult dependents that are a dependent on somebody's tax return. So that would mean a $1,200 check for all individuals and $500 for all dependents this time around. And then another round of checks in March of 2021 if that continues, if the pandemic continues. This also has almost the same thing for unemployment. It has an unemployment extension this year, which is 8 weeks at $450 per week. So that's more than what the Republicans want, but less than what the Democrats want of the full 600. So it's pretty much split right down the middle. Again, bipartisan. $450 per week of unemployment extension for 8 weeks, and then an additional 5 weeks that will vary on your income that could go up to $600 per week. So this would be a 13-week extension of the unemployment insurance benefits. And then again, if the pandemic continues next year into 2021, there's provisions in this bill for another round of unemployment extension also in 2021. This bill is literally the best bill that we have seen from either side. 2 stimulus checks, 2 unemployment extension. There's money for small businesses through the PPP loan and the EIDL program. There's also money for schools. There's $500 billion for states and cities for the Democrats. That's a Democratic thing that they want. They want a lot of money for states and cities. There's liability protections in there for Republicans. So both sides are getting something out of this deal. So they should honestly just draft that into a bill, try to build up some support from it, say, hey, this is a bipartisan bill. This has something that both parties want. Let's pass this bill. This is the best bill for Americans. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. We're also starting to see a new spike of new virus cases with almost 50,000 new cases per day. Again, over 40,000 new cases every single day for the past few days. This is a significant spike up in the United States since the low of 22,000 cases on September 8th. We're now more than double the amount of cases here since then. Some of this is being attributed to colleges and schools, some of which have thousands of new cases. University of Georgia now has over 3,000 new cases, and we're actually starting to see lawsuits happen. For example, Florida has sued over school reopenings as new cases top 10,000. We're starting to see hotspots all across the United States, with over 35 states seeing an increase reported in different areas. For example, Texas Tech University has over 1,000 cases, and University of Georgia over 3,000 cases. And we're starting to see a spike up, and we hope that this doesn't continue as a trend as we go into the fall and the winter with colder temperatures. There's also a new virus test, a gargle test, which is one of the first of its kind in the world. This is a new saline gargle test where you put a little bit of normal saline sterile water into your mouth and you swish it around a little bit and you spit it into a little tube. That's an easier way to collect it for not only young people, but for everybody. President Donald Trump says that every American will be able to get a new virus vaccine by April, but a lot of health experts say that that is not likely. The president says as soon as the vaccine is approved, the administration will deliver it to the American people immediately. President Donald Trump said at a White House news briefing on Friday, distribution will begin 24 hours after notice. He says we'll have manufactured at least 100 million virus vaccine doses before the end of the year, and likely much more than that. Millions of doses will be available every month, and we expect to have enough vaccines for every American by April. The companies working to develop virus vaccines have already started manufacturing doses, even while they are still testing the vaccines to ensure they are safe and to see whether they protect people from infection. They will have to take any data showing this safety and efficiency to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and request either emergency use authorization or full approval. The FDA will then decide whether to grant the go-ahead. The president is also pushing to have this done before the election, which I don't know if that will be possible, but he does call it Operation Warp Speed, so we will see. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't and subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. I will keep you updated as they come out. We have new videos coming out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click on these videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.